Welcome. This is an actual play of a role-playing game. All the participants are adults. The content is intended for adult viewers. We strive to keep the content PG to PG-13, but it is a horror story and may contain horror themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy. Howdy, friends and floor heads. It is Tuesday night, and I get to play a game I've been dying to continue. We're in episode 3 of Night's Black Agents with one-on-one with Zoe. Zoe, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually great. It is
Good.
winter here in New England, so don't mind the robe. It is very cold here, but I am ready. I'm ready to be Layla. Let's go.
All right. So a quick recap to bring everybody up to speed because it's been a little while, except for those of you that are watching this on demand or binge watching it. So Layla woke up about 24 hours ago in the hospital, and you had a gunshot to your abdomen that was healing. It was wrapped and being taken care of. No memories of the last 2 years. The last thing you remembered was being an agent of MI6. You got a text message on a burner phone that was in your bag, and it told you to get out of there, that they're after you, and it gave you an address. And soon afterwards, you looked out the window, you saw the classic trope, black vans pulling up, men pouring out of the black vans and headed into the hospital. And because you are a super agent, you had no trouble getting out of there, hijacking a car and driving away. As you drove away, you took a good look at the person who seemed to be leading this group and you remembered his face. We found out later that you believe that this man is Sinclair and somebody who you used to work with. Now, as you were driving away in the middle of the night, a very inhumanly large, supernaturally large bat attacked you as you were in the car and caused you to hit a telephone pole, crash into the fields. As soon as you crashed, the bat vanished. You walked and suddenly realized you were close to something you were familiar with, a farm. And you get to this farm, and the person who owns the farm recognized you. So Grigor, who you found out you called Gigi, welcomed you back. And he gave you a little bit of love and care, asked about how his son was. You said,
Oh
you don't
no.
remember a son,
Eh,
but had a flashback when you saw a picture of the son. And in that flashback, you were in a room with a dark, mysterious figure who killed Pieter, the
a
son.
dark, beautiful, mysterious figure.
Very beautiful, mysterious figure. That caused you some obvious emotional distress. You took off, figured out you had a stash in Gigi's barn. You went out there, Harley Davidson, duffel bag full of goodies, puts the helmet on, heads to Budapest. As you pull into Budapest, you recognize the neighborhood, then recognize a brownstone, encounter Sam living there. And Sam kind of fills in a couple of the details more than you had before. You realize that Sam is some sort of contact, some sort of information broker that you've been working with, and that you have essentially been renting a room, or maybe you're funding the whole place and he's renting from you. You don't really know, but you have a room in this brownstone. And when we left you, you were in the bath. in your room after one hell of a day.
It's a
You
long day.
you had whiskey neat,
Mhm.
and we're just taking an inventory. So I think we'll go ahead and get started from there. I'm going to have you waking up. After that day, after finally being in a safe place, a warm bath, you fell asleep. And when you wake up, you're not in the bathtub, but you're in the bed. And it is so soft but firm, cozy. The amount of threads that you would buy for your bed on the sheets. You see a robe hanging next to the bed. It was the same robe that was hanging on the inside of the bathroom door when you went in to take the bath. You see slippers down at your feet. You see the empty whiskey glass on the bedstand. And you see light filtering in from the shuttered window to your room. There's no clocks in the room, but you feel rested. Mechanically, real quick, can you open up your character sheet? You get
Sure.
to refresh some points that you have spent.
Oh
So
my
if you click
goodness.
on 24-hour refresh, you'll be able
Boop.
to get some of the points you've spent
Yes,
over the last
please.
day. Hey,
Aha.
Pumpkin Cakes, thanks for the sub.
Woo. Love that.
So as you sit up, Layla,
Well, she checks her hands to see if they're pruny or not, and they're not, which means that someone, whoever it was, that pulled her out of the bath was smart. She takes the robe off and puts it on. For theater of the mind, it could be this very robe. And puts on the little slippers, walks over to the shuttered window and kind of opens them a little bit just to get a good general view of what time of day it is, how busy the street is down below, things like that.
yeah, so you're on the second story and you look out onto the street, which was all covered in darkness when you came in last night. Based on where the sun is, as best guess, it could be noon. You may have slept several hours, which I don't think anybody would fault you for based on everything that's been happening. The streets are busy. There's shops that line a lot of the first floor of many of the buildings across the street. There's a small little like bodega type shop that you can see directly across from there. And as you kind of look down to the right, you see the bakery that Sam mentioned, which apparently one of your favorite Danishes is made, which he promised to have for you when you got up.
Right then. Close the shutters, meander out of the room down to go get breakfast, where I am hoping that pastry is there.
So you open up the door to the bedroom, and the reality of where you really are sets in. You've got this little enclave in your room that's decorated the way you want it, that has the accoutrement that you like to live in. And as soon as that door opens and the smell of that cheap Turkish tobacco, 3 packs a day, just fills your nostrils, and you head downstairs. Now, looking around, there doesn't appear to be a sign of Sam, but there's a white paper bag neatly set on the table and unopened, about a quart worth of orange juice and an empty glass.
No prosecco, but I'll take it. Takes the orange juice. Doesn't even bother to sully the glass and just drinks it right out of the carton.
In the paper bag is
Opens
your
the bag.
Danish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you take a bite, and in its own little way, you feel a little bit more connected to this world. Um, it's something you've eaten before. And you immediately go, yeah, this would definitely be a favorite.
This is it right here. No, this right here, perfection. Devours the Danish and drinks the orange juice and sees if there's any coffee being brewed.
No, there's a coffee maker though, so if you wanna go ahead and get some coffee going, you
Okay,
can.
let's get some coffee going.
And as you're starting to put that together, you hear keys being used on the front door. There's a click and a clack. There's a couple locks that Sam has on this place, and he comes in. You hear the keys as he throws them into this little metal dish that he has by the door. And he walks in and sees your back as you're making coffee, and he goes, "You slept in."
That I did. It's good to sleep in every now and again.
And I see you got the Danish.
I did. Thank you for that. I was just putting on coffee for us.
So I took the phone down and had some of my guys look at it.
And
Well, tracing it back is going to be difficult. I told them we'd make it worth their while if they could figure it out. They confirmed for me what I told you, that the address that texted you, that crazy ass cave church there in the center of town. Big tourist
right.
trap. So I'm not quite sure why somebody would text you that address.
Hmm.
Everything else though, like your standard burner phone, something that you would have bought. So, if you're wondering whether that's a phone you would have used, I could see you using that phone.
All right. Well, it's a start. Finishes the coffee, slides him one over.
So he sits down, the only other chair at the little table, and he goes, "So, you got a game plan?"
Well, my only lead happens to be this creepy place, so I figured I'd go check it out.
You gonna go there during the day? You gonna wait at night? What's your plan?
I think probably not now. It's a bit too busy. Probably when the tourist trap dies a bit. Streets are not empty, but at least less congested.
What can I do for you before then? Uh, and he motions over, and you didn't notice it when you were in the kitchen. He motions over. You see your bag, your stash bag over there. He goes,
Hmm.
"Need anything else for the bag?" He goes, "Yeah, by the way, found your bike. I got it in my garage in the alley.
Oh,
It's
good.
safe. Got your bag here."
Wonderful. Hmm. Let's see. I want to ask him a question, but I don't want it to be super obvious why I'm asking it. Um, yeah, I think I'm just gonna ask him. So, have there been any reports of, I don't know, large flying vermin in Budapest lately? Or perhaps, anything to do with, I don't know. I had a run-in with a creature, flipped my vehicle while I was heading here, and just wondering if it was local to perhaps the farmland or if it had made its way into the city.
Was it like a bear or something? To flip a car. I can't think of anything that would flip a car.
It was more like a bat. She's like putting creamer in her coffee and
And
stir.
he, without asking,
Hmm.
grabs your coffee cup
Hmm.
and brings it over, and he goes, "Well, no booze. Are you okay?"
I'm perfectly fine. Listen. I'm just asking an innocent question.
Maybe you had some drugs in you from the hospital or something, but I this may shock you. I know nothing about large bats to flip cars.
Oh, well,
They are not indigenous here to Budapest.
fair enough. Maybe it was just like a bear or something. I'm not sure. Figured I'd ask. There is something I do require. Perhaps some special ammunition.
Yeah, I saw you got like 4 clips back in your bag there. I can get, what is that, 9 millimeter, I figure? I can get you some more of those.
Uh, More or less along the lines of. Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. Never mind.
And something that I think is really interesting here for Layla is that, you know, and we talked about this a little bit last episode, like we know vampires are involved, right?
Hmm.
And there are several things hinting to Layla that vampires are involved here. But what we talked about also is how Layla is not as freaked out by this as she should be. That there seems to be a familiarity that she has to all of this. That could be so nonchalant to even be thinking about asking for
Hmm.
special silver
Yeah.
ammunition, you
You
know,
know, silver
and I find that
ammunition.
fascinating.
It's just like, oh, if you've got it on hand, that's great. If not, don't worry about it.
Exactly. But for those watching, there's really nothing other than the giant bat that would lead Layla necessarily to that outside of maybe the rose water, maybe the crucifix picture. There's definitely been some hints.
Hmm. Sam, do you have any extra garlic lying around? I'm craving garlic toast right now.
Yeah, not really much of a cook. But
I know.
if you don't remember, go out there, take a right. The market's about 4 blocks down. They're gonna have everything. They'll have the lemons and the garlics, and they got chickens and all that kind of stuff. You cooking tonight? Should I put out the fancy plates?
Well, if you insist, but I don't know yet. I have a sudden craving for garlic toast, and well, can't stop the cravings.
Well, I don't have any bread either, so you're gonna want to pick up some bread.
Do you have any? She like goes over the fridge, opens it. It's like beer,
Condiments.
maybe yeah, mustard, ketchup, like mayo, and like maybe some hummus. All right. Well, it looks like I'm going shopping for both of us. You don't even have any eggs. How can you live? How? You can't just subsist off of coffee, Sam.
I pay people to make my foods.
Yes, I can smell that. I have to teach you how to make eggs on teach you to make chicken in a basket, all right? Anyway.
Unlike you, I did not get any sleep last night. I was out and about for you this whole time, so I'm gonna head up and catch some Z's.
Mhm. All right, you do that.
And Layla, the only thing that I want to pause for a second to note is that if Sam is telling the truth, which your bullshit detector did not go off when he said this,
Mhm.
that would mean if you thought Sam was the person who got you from the bathtub to the bed, both of those things can't be true.
I think, like, right before he, like, leaves the kitchen, she'll, like, lean up against the counter, turn around holding her coffee. "Sam,
Yep.
just out of curiosity, how long were you gone for last night?"
Well, shit, you pulled in around 4:30 or so. Let's see, I took the phone. We got chit chatting. I don't think I left the house till around 5 or so. So, um, went to the guys. He spent some time with the phone. Slept a little bit there on his couch. We went and got some coffee. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what time is it now? It's about noon. So I guess I mean, been gone the whole time. I slept about an hour on the guy's couch. That's about it.
All right. Well, if I know anything about that couch, it's probably not good for your back, so go on. Get some good rest. I'll lock up when I leave.
Yeah, yeah, you got you should have keys right in your bag. So
Of course. Have a good night.
He heads upstairs.
That is unnerving. Well, thank you to my mysterious stranger who pulled me from the bath. Nothing for it, I suppose. Time to go to the market. Goes upstairs, gets changed out of her robe, puts on some street clothes.
You have a
Um,
closet full of it.
oh, love it. Even goes so far as to put on like the balaclava,
Excellent.
just to kind of hide her face a little bit, just in case anybody recognizes her. Because the last thing she needs is somebody recognizing her and her just not recognizing them. Um, so she bundles up pretty tightly, grabs not the full bag, maybe the gun holstered at the back of the our lower back,
Yep.
one extra clip maybe, that rose water and the crucifix just in case. Um,
And let's have there be kind of a an over the shoulder strap on the thermos or the rose water, so you can kind of sling it to the middle of your back,
mhm.
and then if you've got any type of a throw over cover or something like that,
Yep.
which would totally fit in modern Budapest.
Yeah.
You can have that hidden basically right next to your gun.
Perfect.
Great.
Travel light. Grab the keys, lock up, and head towards market.
And as you walk down through the streets, much like last night, it's this overwhelming feeling that I blend in. It's just natural to you, and what tugs at you is this familiarity, is this training, but you are not from Turkey. You're not from Hungary, right? And but nobody turns, nobody stares at you, nobody even spots you. You just fold into the action and the river of activity going up and down these streets when you get to the market.
Mhm.
So obviously we're going to pick up some garlic. You have no trouble finding any garlic.
No trouble at
Any
all.
anything else that we want to do at the market?
I do want to find a couple of pieces of silver, maybe not fashioned into bullets, but as close as I can.
Hmm. Maybe we need to do our first roll tonight. Let me
Hmm.
see here. Why don't we do what do I like here? Give me a preparedness roll, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a +1.
Oh, all right. Perfect.
And this is so you're going to find silver. It's just a matter of whether what condition it's going to be in. On a
Mm-hmm.
4 or higher, it's going to be as you wanted.
All right. Let's. I am also going to put one in there.
That'll give you a total of +2. So
Yeah.
this is a gumshoe system for those of you watching. Simple D6 system. I set a target number of 4. Zoe's got points that Layla can spend to influence the roll. I'm giving a +1. So with a target number 4, Layla just needs to roll a 2 or higher.
My public roll. Boom.
Boom. So uh, you kind of go through, tucked away in the back is kind of where some of the jewelry is in this market. And this is an entire alleyway that has been just taken over
Of
by
course.
different vendors. And the older lady that's attending here first tries to push some jewelry on you, some beautiful jewelry, some earrings and things like that. You make it clear that you're looking for something a little bit more raw, and she ends up finding. So, give me an idea of what you're looking for. What does she find for you?
Just like silver nuggets.
Got it. Yep, she's got a little bag here for you. You've got more than enough cash on you.
Perfect. I buy it. In fact, I'll buy whatever she has.
Done.
Amazing. So in my equipment, in my little notes, I will write down silver nuggets. And then after that, I'm gonna if it's close by, I'll meander towards the address that I was given, just to give it a quick scope of, how popular it is,
Hmm.
um, if it is, a secluded place, just do, like, a general overview.
So you have the address at this point, I would imagine, burned into your
Mhm.
brain,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it's a little bit of a hike. It's a little bit of a hike, probably a good 30-minute walk. But once you get there to the address, you realize the name of this place is the Gellert Hill Cave. And as you come across it, you can tell that in many ways, Budapest was built around this because it's almost like a little park near the center of Budapest. And just incidentally, for those of you go to Wikipedia, this is a real place.
Mm.
It's almost like a small hill that is jutting out of the center of Budapest, and it's fenced all the way around. You come up to a sign, and a sign explains to you that one of the oldest churches known. It's been one of the firstest things that established here in Budapest. It's now currently taken care of by a monk order. Visiting hours are start at 7 a.m. for a small tour and for a small donation, and it stops at 6 p.m. And as you kind of walk around the park, you can see the queue of people that are getting ready for this tour. There's easily like 30 or 40 people, looks like to be from all over the world, waiting in line to go in. There's a gentleman at the door, main entrance, which is kind of this glass that has been kind of built to cover the mouth of this cave, giving it an actual door. He's in what appears to be kind of thick monk robes, with very, very short hair, but it's not bald. You would guess maybe his mid-50s.
Okay. I think seeing that there's gonna be, like, 30 to 40 people on in this little tour, and seeing that it is an enclosed space, it might behoove me to actually take the tour and get a good look at the maybe the touristy part, sure, but at least it'll give me a layout of what I'm walking into. So I think for a small donation, probably a medium-sized donation because I've got cash to burn, um, and because this is a gorgeous place, which by the way, she takes out her phone and, like, takes like, a panoramic picture of it because of how beautiful it is. Um, for a medium-sized, lovely donation, she will join that group of 30 to 40 tourists and take the tour, under the guise that she is just enjoying the beauty of the place and wants to hear the history, but also really paying attention to the exit points, the entry points, possible hiding places, things like that.
So you slowly work your way through the queue as people are making their donations at the front, and several different languages being spoken within line. And when you finally get to the front of the queue, the monk kind of waves you over. There's a little offering area with a kind of a slot on it for the donations. He turns to kind of like go through his normal route, like, welcome to the Gilbert Cave. And oh, Layla,
Fuck. Hello.
we were worried. We're going to be just a moment. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. What? Are we when we didn't see you yesterday?
I Yesterday was a lot. I apologize.
Um, we're very concerned. We have lots of questions.
I'm sure you do. I have hopefully lots of answers. but
Here.
I'm sure we can't talk right now. I
No,
was
no, no. I let me take you in. Dr. Hoya is there. Um, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Come. We'll be right
sure,
back. We'll be right
sure.
back.
She follows him, and under her breath, she's like, "This is exactly what I didn't want to happen."
So he takes you into the first room, which you can see there's framed pictures all over the place showing this cave at all different times, right? And long paragraphs and paragraphs of history and so on and so forth. There's a group of tourists that are getting a bit of a tour, an explanation in French from another monk there. And this monk, who obviously knows you or appears to know you, kind of puts his hand on your elbow and just kind of walks. You're walking right past this. You go and you go and you go, and he comes to a door, says staff only. He pops the door, opens it up for you. You step in and you go through a series of hallways. And these hallways are in kind of different shapes. Sometimes they're strictly, wood hallways. Sometimes they're a mix of wood and stone where wood has been used to reinforce it. So in some ways, some of these passageways are natural. Some appear to be, built and built out.
Mhm.
He eventually takes you to a room that is truly cavernous. It's a large room. Across from the entrance from where you are, there is a huge crucifix hanging up from the back wall on the ceiling, made out of wood, carved Christ being crucified on the crucifix. What is obviously an altar. Unlike different areas as you were going through this museum, there's no barriers where tourists are not allowed to go past. This doesn't appear to be an area that's part of the tour.
Mhm.
An old man is sitting reading, and as soon as the door opens, he gingerly is lifting himself out of the chair and he goes, Adolfo, is that? He goes, she's here, doctor. Oh, bless, 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 bless. Uh, Layla, come.
She walks over. "You don't have to get up on my account. You stay right there. I'm coming." She walks over. "Thank you, Adolfo. Thank you."
And he gives you a nod. So let me describe this gentleman for you. There's all kinds of different white hair.
Sure.
Right? You have kind of that grayish white hair, that's kinda speckled, a little bit of the remnants of the old color that's left. You have, almost that brownish gray hair, and then you have the purest white hair, which this gentleman does have, and to his credit and
Mm.
to his age, because he could easily be in his 80s, he has kept his hair, but it is just
Stark
100%
white.
white.
Mhm.
Deep, deep lines in his face, relatively friendly face. He's got large rimmed glasses, pretty thick. You can tell by the distortion of his eyes that he definitely needs to be wearing glasses.
Okay.
He's old enough that his lips have started to turn in
Mm.
towards his mouth a little bit.
Mhm.
And in the way that's true for men, even more than women, when you get of a certain age, your ears and your nose just continue to grow, though the rest of you starts to fall. So he's got, a large bulbous nose. He's got those huge old man earlobes,
Mhm.
with the guaranteed hair sprouts
Oh, yeah.
coming from his ear. I'm not quite sure if he thinks he's being stylish. He's got a bolo tie, which bless him. But
I love that.
he's not he's dressed well, but definitely not dressed rich.
Mhm.
He goes, Layla, sit, please first tell me, how are you feeling?
Uh, well rested now. I was not well yesterday, which is
Where have you
why I'm
been?
late. I apologize. I ran into some car trouble, you see.
No, no, no. Layla, it's been 2 months. Where have you been?
Well, that's a bit of a long story. She kind of looks around just to see if there's anybody else in here. There isn't. And I would like to I'd like to kinda, like, get the measure of this guy before I decide to tell him all of the
Sure.
bullshit that's been happening, so,
What's
is
an
there, like, a
interpersonal skill that you're looking at right now?
I'm not looking at bullshit detector, that's, I feel like that doesn't really fit here. Um, what I'm looking at is, is reassurance?
Yeah, reassurance is gonna be, if he is kind of out of sorts, he's really nervous about you, which he doesn't appear to be. I'm gonna suggest this, which
Okay,
is let's role play for a little bit longer
okay,
because you're getting one thing you are getting a sense of is that even though he's asking the questions, I think he has a lot to say, and that and
okay.
so Layla being as good as she is with all of this, right? With
Mhm,
investigation, with interrogation and everything, I am imagining Layla would very quickly try to stop you asking me questions. I want to ask you questions.
mhm,
So as
mhm.
soon as you're able to pivot there, how are we going to potentially get Dr. Hollier to start talking?
Alright, so he is worried about I've been missing for 2 months. I apparently haven't checked in, and I'm supposed to check in with this person. They've been waiting for me. They expected me yesterday. They must be either directly connected with the person who texted me that address or are affiliated with the person who texted me that address. And so, I think Layla Layla's gonna try and, like, tilt the conversation into, well, you see, I was delayed, of course, and then my phone unfortunately didn't work there for a little while. It couldn't figure it out for any reason why. You know how technology is nowadays. I finally got the address yesterday after I brought the phone to someone who was an expert in it. And I got the address, and yesterday I was on my way and I was waylaid by car trouble. Can you believe it? Just the worst stroke of luck I've ever had for the past 2 months. I've been trying very hard to get to you, and unfortunately, I don't think any of my messages got to you, but I'm here now, and I apologize for my tardiness. Please, if there's anything you need to tell me, just go ahead and tell me now. But I do apologize for my tardiness, and I promise it won't happen again.
Well, it's understandable, Zoe. I mean, Rostami, Rostami finally figured out, you were at this hospital.
You mean Layla?
Um, Layla, did I say Zoe?
Yeah, you called me.
Um,
It's fine. It's fine.
sorry.
It's all good.
Um, Rostami sent you that message as soon as we knew we got hint that Jovitzo's men would be headed to the hospital. That's why we sent the message.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. All
when we
right. This
didn't hear
guy
from you, we were
no.
frightened. My main concern, though, my main concern, Layla, is when is the last time you drank the water?
Yesterday, I had a small little taste.
How much do you have left?
She goes and reaches for the canteen. I imagine he's talking about the rose water, opens it and quite a bit, I believe.
So he takes it. He goes. It's lasted considerably longer than I have. Don't forget, Layla. You have to take 3 sips a day, or
She
or
takes it and takes another sip.
it's the only thing that's keeping you broken right now. We have back at the safe house. We are making more of it. I've told you this is not going to be permanent. but it will buy us time.
Right. Right. There's a look that Layla is trying very desperately to hide in this moment, and that is that this man knows a lot more than she does, and she has just been revealed a truth as she's trying very hard not to just bombard him with questions. Like the curiosity in her is growing exponentially the more that he is talking. Um, so Rastami sent the message. They know about Javitso. This rose water is some kind of remedy. 3 sips a day. Uh, I'm assuming I can't take them all at once. Otherwise, I would. And they're making more. What did he say? It keeps me broken.
Correct.
Keeps me broken. That's unsettling and comforting at the same time.
Can I take your vitals, Layla?
Of course. She
And he leans
kind
over and grabs a small
of.
bag. He's got a stethoscope in there. He's just checking your pulse, just kind of very, very, very kindly. Just kind of check that. He puts his back of his hand up on your forehead to check your temperature. And he goes, you seem fine. You seem fine.
I feel fine.
We're going to need to get you back to the safe house. A lot's happening. A lot's unfolding. Unfortunately, I think Javitso is got a sense of what we have done, and if he finds you, well, you know what'll happen if he finds you. Layla, I
Uh-huh.
have information to share with you,
Okay.
and it's using bullshit detector.
Oh, I love that.
I've got information to tell you if you don't spend points. I have more information to tell you if you're willing to spend a point. So, for those of you watching, the investigative abilities and interpersonal abilities in Gumshoe systems, there's no roles. They have the player has a certain number of points for their character, and each of these uh, granted, if you've got the skill, in this case, she has bullshit detector, she's going to get some sort of information if it applies. There's nothing that happens. It doesn't hide behind a role. But the reason that there are points there is that if she wants, there's the potential the GM would say, but you'll get even more points, or more information if you spend points. So, in some ways, instead of a role, the investigative abilities in the Gumshoe system are almost a resource management. Some may have refreshed for her in the 24 hours when she did her 24-hour refresh. Some may not. So, Zoe, where are you right now with bullshit detector? How many points do you have, and how many do you have left?
I have 2 points, but I have 1 left.
Okay.
So I think
And if you want, I can give you the freebie, and you can then decide if you want to spend the point.
I'd like that.
Okay.
Yes.
As he's talking, when he's talking about the safe house, when he's talking about Javitso, even though you're alone, his voice drops a bit. And your bullshit detector tells you that he is picking his words carefully and he's being evasive. And he is nervous,
Hmm.
but you're not able to get any sense of why.
Okay, I'd like to spend a point and figure out why.
All right, go ahead and spend the point for me. Your immediate reaction, I think, might be he's lying to me, right?
Mm.
But because you're so good at what you do, and you put forth this extra level of concentration on this, he's not doing it for your sake. So he seems to be telling you the truth, but he seems to be very concerned about something else. and it seems
Hmm.
to be something else is making him nervous. And as you were trying to assess this, as you're looking at like, this is okay, you know what? I know he is telling me the truth. I could tell he's telling me the truth. That's when you notice in his left ear, which he's been kind of keeping out of sight, you see the earpiece. We're going to go to
Man's
break.
got a
We'll be back.
wire. He's got a
We're going to go
wire.
back in 10 minutes.
Oh no!
So Layla notices the earpiece.
Yep.
We need to get you out of here. We've got to get you out of Budapest. We've got a plane ready, and we should have people here that'll be here soon that will take us to the airport.
I'm not leaving until I see justice served.
Layla, we can't afford for him to find you. We're already on borrowed time.
And I can't afford to have him still wandering about.
Layla, when did you get the idea that we'd be able to stop him?
Oh,
There's
not
only
not
Our only
we.
option is running.
No. You see, that's what rabbits do. I'm not a rabbit. She kind of stands up and like brushes herself off and is like, "All right, this conversation's over because you have an earpiece and you're not telling me all that I need to know. You just want me to yes you." And so she's like, "Right. I know where to find you should I need you. Thank you so
Eh,
very much."
Layla,
And she tugs at her ear at him because as far as she's aware, there's no cameras in here. And kind of like taps the side of her nose at him and goes to leave.
so here I will need a point spend for reassurance.
Okay, okay. Good, good, good. That's what I was hoping. I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend that point on reassurance and be like,
Okay.
that little tug on the ear and the nose tap is like, I know you can't tell me everything. Don't worry about it."
You see him otherwise inexplicably, but you know exactly why. You see him put his hand on his chest, covering the
Mhm.
second button, and he mouths to you, "You have to come with us. You have to come with us.
She
Don't go."
mouths back.
I couldn't tell what you said.
Sorry. She mouths back the word tonight. Mhm.
And he
And
God
honestly,
bless the old
I think actually she lifts her hands and signs like 7 p.m. Like after the place is closed, after there's nobody there.
and he nods, and it takes him a little bit of time, God bless the old man. He works his way to the door, and he kinda gives it a knock, and, brother Adolfo, opens it and goes, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "Yes, yes, I think her tour is over, but, she has credit for another tour later." And the monk
Mhm.
nods. The door closes, and Adolfo says, "Let me take you back out front. Everything is okay."
Everything's perfectly fine, Adolfo. There's no reason to worry whatsoever. The only thing you need worry about is getting through that queue. That was a long time to be waiting in the sun.
And he kind of giggles a little bit. He finds your humor. He takes you not out the front door. He finds a small side exit through kind of the employee only area
Sure.
of this church, and you're back out in the center of Budapest.
Okay. She hurries him back inside. It's like, go on, go on. Don't let them wait outside anymore. My goodness. She's kind of standing there alone, just like, what have I gotten myself into? Layla, what have we done? All right, so they know about Javitso, which is unsettling and comforting at the same time. And she's walking and talking now.
Mhm.
Um, balaclava still kind of around her face and everything, just having conversation with herself as she often does. All right, so they want me to get on a plane to leave. So they want me away as fast as possible, which means that Jovitsu probably has his hands in more than one pot. I'll have to see if Sam knows anything about this. Better make use of those silver bullets right quick. I might be needing them tonight. I wonder if I remember how to make casings. I think I do. There's YouTube, isn't there?
I think this is very interesting. Let's take a quick look. What do we have here for skills? Let's see. You've got criminology, human terrain, languages, law, military, research, vampirology, technical. You got electronic surveillance, noticed, outdoor survival, and urban survival. I bet we could do some outdoor survival
Outdoor survival. Let's do
to
that.
make those casings. So is that how you
Let's
want to kind of spend some time here?
Yeah, she's gonna head back to Sam's place,
He's
gather
still
up.
asleep.
Of course he is. Gather up all of her, things and whatnot, and start making these casings, these
So I
bullets.
don't know that you've got the equipment here, but in Night's Black Agents, you have a skill called networking.
Mhm.
And what networking will allow you to do is really kind of take advantage of the fact that you're a spy, right? And spies have networks everywhere and are constantly able to take advantage of that. So let's see, your networking skill is under the general skills. If you want to give me, normally it would be a difficulty 3 networking roll,
Mhm.
but considering your memory and the memory blocks, we're going to make it a difficulty 5.
Oof.
How many points do you have in networking?
I have 15 in network,
Okay, so
so
you are
I'm
obviously
good.
we're very well connected. So again, she needs to roll a 5, but she gets to spend points to give herself a +1. So in theory, if she were to spend 4 points, you are guaranteed to make this roll.
I'm gonna spend 5, and I'm gonna
You only need
roll.
to spend, yep. All right,
Boom.
beautiful. No trouble
Rolled a
whatsoever.
5, I'm good.
So let's have a bit of a montage as you figure out. I mean, if I go to this merchant and ask this question, that it will be innocuous. Then
Mhm.
go to this merchant and ask this question, which will be innocuous, but with in conjunction with that question. And we slowly end the montage with you finding a blacksmith shop and with a couple of bills you are kind of set up in the back area of this blacksmith shop where you're able to melt down the silver and you're able to make bullets.
Perfect.
So no spend on the outdoor survival. We've spent our points that we needed on networking to get here. It's probably going to take a good 3 hours though. So I'm going to put us at about 5 o'clock.
That's fine. That's actually perfect. And
And
how
let's say you got a clip's worth.
Okay,
So we see, of
perfect.
course, Zoe emptying one of the clips of regular bullets and
Layla,
filling that clip with silver
Layla. We
bullets.
see Layla doing
Layla,
that.
Jesus, what am I doing? Fisher Price, my first role
I
playing
mean,
game.
I can do it. It's not I have loaded a clip before,
I
but
know how to run games.
it's fine.
Thank you.
So yeah, one clip worth of silver bullets
Yeah, so
of
we have
that.
10 silver bullets.
Beautiful. Finish that up, pay them handsomely for their time and their silence, and head back to Sam's in time to get the bug out bag ready, get the bike ready for anything that might happen, and yeah, tell give Sam an update if he's
Mhm.
awake. If he's not awake, I will wake him up.
No, he's awake. He's actually got Chinese there waiting for you.
Ooh, do you know I enjoy a good General Tso's? She starts eating the Chinese.
And there's not a whole lot of chit-chat really necessarily
Mhm.
as you guys are wolfing down things with your wooden chopsticks. But he he does at one point go, "I don't expect any details. You never I honestly I don't want any details. I just I just I don't want you gone for another several months. I just, whatever you're doing, whatever you're in the middle of, you let me know if I can help.
Well, Sam, that's entirely up to you whether you want to be in the weeds with me or not.
I don't even know what your weeds look like.
They're thick and viney and frankly not fun to be in.
Is there something you need?
I need a plan B.
Okay.
Plan A currently is I checked out the creepy place. Turns out it was Gellert Hill Cave. There is a plane ticket for me to get out of Budapest to escape this Jovitso person.
Okay. Is that something you got mixed up in or something?
Apparently, the man is out for me, and I need to escape. And so these lovely monks have set up an escape route for me. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's a ruse and a trap. And so I need a plan B.
Okay. You got a picture of this guy or an address of this Jovitso guy? I can, you
I
know, we can,
unfortunately
we've got
don't.
people that'll take care of him.
I only have the description that I can give you verbally, unfortunately.
Probably need a little bit more than that. But listen,
Right.
if you can get a picture of this guy, you get a photograph, for about 20, I can probably, have him taken care of.
Well, I that I will deal with on my own. It's more or less I need a backup plan for this plan in case things should go south.
Okay. What do you need?
I need an escape vehicle.
I mean, you got your bike. Do you need something better than that?
No, the bike will do fine, but I can't bring the bike.
Okay.
So I'm going to borrow a car or maybe Uber or whatever it is they have here in Budapest, and get myself to the airport. And she gives I imagine that she was given the address to wherever this airport is, or no? Okay, all right. All right, let's do some detective work. Let's some deduction here. Um, definitely
There is
wouldn't.
only one major airport
Yeah,
out of.
it okay, so then it would probably be that, and it probably wouldn't be any of the major airline areas, it would probably be, like, a smaller back area where the private jet planes are.
Hmm.
So, uh, anywhere between hangars A and F, I believe, I can't tell you exactly which one it is, but if you if just dump the bike wherever you see fit, and I'm sure I'll find it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? I'll pay Dora. Dora, she'll drive it out there. She'll drop the bike off. She's usually pretty reasonable. And he just kind of pauses.
She takes out a wad of cash and, like, slides it over.
And you don't want any dents on the bike, right?
You're pushing your luck. You're lucky it's a Harley Davidson.
And he puts it right in his pocket. He goes, "All right, got you covered. What time do I need to make sure Dora has the bike there?"
Let's see. I'm supposed to be at Gellert Hill Cave at 7 p.m. It takes, I don't know, anywhere between 45 minutes to 50 minutes to get to the airport.
Yeah, it'll take you about an hour.
So, yes, probably in about 8:10 at the latest.
All right, so I'm gonna make sure that the bike is there by 7:30. I'll tell her to put the keys on top of the back tire, right under the whatever the hell you call the thing that covers the back tire.
It's a wheel well,
The
yes.
wheel well, that's what it's gonna be. I'll have her put it right there. And man, the only thing is, man, she's got to figure out a way to get home. But you know what, Layla, that's on me.
Are you sure?
I got it covered. I got it covered. And he kind
All
of
right.
pats his jacket pocket where he put the money that you gave him.
All right. Well then, in that case, at least let me pay you for dinner. And she slides him a cool like 20 bucks in Budapest currency to him for the food.
All right. Do we cut to the church? What are we doing?
I think, yeah, I think we're gonna cut to the church, but there is a small moment where she like goes back up to the room and basically empties it out,
Yeah.
um, because she's getting ready to bug out. So no sign of her ever being there, and I think she'll actually kind of remember, I was in the bath the other night. Someone had pulled me out, and it wasn't Sam. So I wonder. She's going to start to look around to see if anybody left any signs of their presence. Because if it was Sam, he would have
Mm.
been loud. There would have been footprints. He probably would have left a cigarette butt on the table, right? Like, but if this person snuck in, pulled her out of the bath, put her in bed,
Mhm.
there's got to be something, anything.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. What do I want you to do? All right, you've got notice, and you've got 3 points of notice. I'm not gonna make
Hmm.
you spend any of that. That's a lot of
Okay.
notice,
All right.
which makes sense, right? It makes sense for you to be
Yeah.
good at this type of thing. So you kinda start poking around a little bit, and it's probably a good thing you did because the shutters were closed when you got up this morning. Shutters are still closed,
Hmm.
but you do see that the windows to this place are old, and it was a simple, just little hook mechanism on the inside of the window that kept them closed. But now you realize you can see the splintered wood. You can see the little clasp laying on the inside of the windowsill, on your side of the windowsill. And you can see now that the only reason the window is closed still is it's been pulled closed. So it's kind of closed. It's closed in on itself. A gust of wind potentially could pop it open, but it's no longer latched.
Mm, curious. She kind of like opens the window, looks down and judges how tall this is. It is a second story, so it would be a significant
Yeah,
climb.
good
Uh,
25 feet. Yeah.
I imagine because these are old windows, they are not particularly big. Uh, so,
I mean,
mm,
you could get through the window, but
sure.
it would take a little bit of effort, right?
Mhm.
It's similar to a lot of like what a lot of windows you see in like American bathrooms.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Seems the only person who would be able to do this is someone with a lot of dexterity. My goodness. Right, creepy midnight visitor. She closes it and fixes the latch. Just kind of like leans out the window and tries to jerry rig it so that she can't like totally fix it, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, it would take some woodworking skills because
yeah.
it was broken. It
All
was
right.
broken. But the good news is that it's a tight fit, right? So if you push the window,
Hmm.
the woods
It
close on themselves. Like I said, they
it'll
would
be
take some
good
effort
enough.
to push open.
Okay, good. All right. Well, she puts another bill on the table for Sam for later, and writes a little note. Sorry about the window. Love heart, Layla.
Now, are we also gonna have the bag taken with the bike?
Yes. So
Okay.
she still has the rose water, the 9 millimeter pistol, an extra clip of normal bullets, the clip of silver bullets, um, a couple of like wads of cash on her, and um, the crucifix.
The picture of a crucifix.
The picture of a
Yeah.
crucifix. Yes. She's taken it, like, out of whatever it was held in, and it's just a folded, little, like, photo, like, at her breast pocket. And that's it. That's all she's taken with her. The clothes that she is wearing are, a bit tighter than normal streetwear, so probably anywhere in the leather family would be
Mhm.
great. Um, Still has that balaclava, but now it's black. and yeah, heads out, calls an Uber.
Yeah, so let's flash to you getting to the church, to the cave church. And there's no longer a line. The front gate indicates that it closes at 6,
Mhm.
but you do see some monks letting a group out. So apparently, maybe the tour is long enough that if they close at 6 and now it's about 6:30 ish, 7 ish,
Mm,
the tour is finishing up. So they
right,
seem
that
to
was the
be,
last tour. Okay.
yep, seem to be letting out. You see Adolfo is one of those monks.
Perfect. I will saunter over, not too fast, not too slow, and kind of meander myself at the back of the crowd and tap Adolfo on the shoulder and just like, nod to I'm gonna wait over here for you. Um, and let him do his job basically.
Yeah, so he kind of indicates, kind of around the corner on the outside, just kind of points there and talks to his other brother monks. They head in. You see him kind of looking around, and then he flags you.
Hmm. She walks
He
over.
goes, the doctor is still inside,
All right. Thank you, Adolfo.
and he takes you the same way.
Hmm.
You end up back in this cavernous room that is more cave than it is timber, with again that huge crucifix, and there's now a fire in a small little fireplace where Dr. Holier seems to be sitting, again with a book, as you walk in. And he starts to try to get himself up.
No, 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 no need to get up. Sit down. You're too old to be moving around that much.
He goes, well, you're right on time.
As I said I would be.
So
She
you've,
immediately checks his ear.
it's still there.
Of course, it's still there.
He says, so the group that's going to be taking us to the airport that we made the arrangements with, the father, myself, so Father Loretti, Rostami, and I have made these arrangements to get you out of here. We're going to try to tie things up here. I will make sure that there's a supply of the water on the plane. Woman that we hired, Stokovich, she should be here. I told her to come back here no later than 7:30, and her men should be able to take you to the airport. And
Perfect.
when you get to France, just go to the normal safe house in Paris, and the father and I will try to get there as quickly as possible. Then we will try to figure out how to make this permanent.
All right. Sounds delightful. First class, I assume?
No, we're not quite
Oh,
that successful yet.
that's all right. Coach is fine every once in a while.
He stands up and he's checking his watch, and a back door you didn't notice opens, almost like a secret door to
Ooh,
this cave
I don't like
opens.
that.
And a woman walks out, and she is, how tall do you think you are?
Layla, I think, is a cool like 5'11".
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So pretty tall, right? And
Yeah, pretty tall.
she's almost half a head taller than you.
Ooh, big
She
lady.
is a shaved head, very sharp features.
Okay.
She is built like a rugby player or roller girl. So she has got a set of shoulders on her. She's got a set of guns on each arm.
Giant
Um,
woman. Got it.
yeah, but it just and one of those types of people that you just look at them and go, this is not something that you get by going to the gym, right? This is not
Uh-huh.
cosmetic strength. This is farm strength, right?
Yep.
And she comes in and she goes, Doctor, the men are ready. He turns and he goes, just just please be careful.
Of course.
Okay, she's set straight to the airport. What you're coming with us, right? Oh, no, no, yes, of course, of course, of course. So he starts to walk with you towards this woman.
I'm very sus about what is happening here. I think what can I do? Let's see. Is there anything I can do in this moment? Because he wants to he doesn't want to go with us. He wants to follow us after. Ugh. Layla, what do we do? What do we do with this giant woman?
Something that might help you.
Anything really.
As you're trying to piece this together, you realize Dr. Hollier is coming with you. He's walking with you towards this woman. She seems impatient, but not
Gathered
out of
that.
sorts, right? If she was hired
Yeah.
to do a job to transport valuables from point A to point B, and it's not a nervousness that throws you off necessarily. What does throw you off is the gunshot
Oh, F.
coming from behind you. It's not right on the other side of the door you came in, but it's definitely inside the cave. You hear a and she immediately goes, "We don't have time. He knows we're here. Come, 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 come."
Oh, no.
And she comes and she's now trying to like help this doctor move
All
at
right.
second
Well,
speed.
now it's like, okay, so she helps too. It's like gets on one side, she gets on the other. We hurry the doctor at least out of line of sight.
And as you go through this back door, just as you are closing the door, so this woman is kind of leading the way. She's kind
Mhm.
of helping the doctor, like, come
Mhm.
on, come on.
Mhm.
You're kind of behind, kind of pushing him along. As you're starting to close the door, you hear the first kick. Someone is trying to kick in the door to try to get in to the room you're now leaving. You
Okay.
hear the poof, poof, as they're
All
trying
right.
to kick it.
Close this door.
You close the door.
Is there anything I can block the door with in case they find it?
Yeah. So let's have a chair right there. So it's gonna
Not
maybe
gonna
buy
block
you
it
a
for
little bit of
long,
time.
but
Yep.
enough. Chair, boom. Since there's already been gunshots, you know what? Is there a lock on this door? Like a mechanism or anything? No? Damn it. I was gonna shoot the lock. Nope. All right, let's go.
So these hallways are much different. These
Mhm.
hallways are very, very tight and very, very old. And there's a little bit of gradient. So there's times where you can tell you're going down. There's times you can tell you're going up. She's leading you through this. Could I talk you into spending a point in notice?
Yes. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Let
So
me
the free part is it's obvious this woman is familiar with this cave system and
Mhm.
these passageways. There is no at no point is she trying to reorient herself. At no point, and it's maze like, right? But what does happen is at one point the lighting is gone. So there's been these fluorescent lights that have been kind of drilled into the top of these caves as she's
Mhm.
navigating through like somebody who's almost like has been here many many times. And when the lighting goes away, you're so concerned. You hear the noises, you hear the door being bashed in.
Mhm.
Things are very frenetic, and you're now in follow mode. And that extra point in notice that you just spent, you realize it's pitch black. I can't see my hand in front of my face. The only thing that is allowing me to keep track of is I can hear Dr. Holier, I can hear her. but she hasn't slowed down. And she is just as decisive as she was when there was lights.
All right, strange woman knows her way in the dark. Love that. Um, Layla assumes the position of walking backwards now, gun out, ready, um, pointed behind her, just following along, keeping pace, but also watching their back.
And that's good that you did that because the flash from the side hallway goes and the gun fires and the bullet goes past you. So you hear a yell going, "They're here. I found them."
Shit. Need
And
to hurry along.
she stops and she goes, "Jesus.
Why are you
w-
stopping?
w- okay, we'll keep going, but they're going to catch us. They're going to catch us with him."
They're going to catch you. Come on. Keep moving. I'll worry about our tail, okay? Keep going.
Okay.
Go on.
And she keeps pushing him forward. You're kind of keeping
Mhm.
your dispatch. You hear footsteps coming down that side passageway.
Mhm. I think all right. I think she's going to stop, kind of judge the surroundings really quick, see if there's like a small cuz I imagine that these are like basically carved out
Correct.
hallways in the rock itself. So, probably like finding a rock outbutting, kind of positioning herself so that she's partially covered, waiting for them to get close enough, judging how many there are based off of the footsteps. And if she can, she's either going to hand combat to stop them, or shoot them.
All right. So let's have you with your notice skill, no spend. Yeah, probably three of them. Based on the footsteps. Unlike your new best friend, they do need lights. So there
Hmm.
are flashlights. So you're able to tell by the brightness as the flashlights are working closer and closer down this side hallway. You will be able to get the drop on them. They're a half second from reaching the intersection that you now have visibility to, but you're half hidden from. Is there anything you want to do before the first one steps out? And right now, I'm having you, and you tell me if you're happy with this. How far do you want to be from this intersection?
I'd say probably 20 feet.
Great. So, yeah, let's have you about 20 feet away. Anything before they step out?
I'm gonna take a sip of that rose water. That's what I'm gonna do. I now have transitioned it from a thermos to a flask. She kind of takes the flask out, bottoms up, takes a drink, caps it, puts it away, gets ready.
First one steps out. You have the drop on them. So, let's go ahead and do our first combat.
Let's do an RKO out of nowhere.
So the way the combat works here, there is an initiative system. We're just going to go ahead. Narrative can trump that. And in this case, the narrative does. The person taking the action has a role, and their target number is determined by the hit threshold of the target. And the hit threshold is influenced by the agility skill on here. So there is no attacker defender. It's only the attacker, but the defender determines the hit threshold. So or determines the target number. Target number is 4. The hit threshold for this first goon is 4.
Okay.
There's 2 factors involved here, though. He's going to get a +1 for the darkness, and he's also going to get a +1 from the cave system and the partial cover that he's going to get as he's turning the corner. So that now turns your target number into a 6. So same thing as before. It's a standard D6, but your target number is now a 6.
Okay.
You do have a firearm skill, I believe.
I do.
How many points?
I have. Where are we? I was looking at hand to hand. Um, Shooting. I have 7 points.
Okay. So just like everything else, you'll roll your shooting skill. On a
Mhm.
6, you will hit him, but you can spend points.
I am gonna spend 1 point at least.
That means you'll be successful on a 5 or a 6.
I'll spend 2 points.
Okay.
And here we go. Hopefully roll for the best. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, fuck.
All right, 2 plus the 2 puts you
Uh,
at the 4.
4.
As
Dang
soon
it.
as this guy comes around, he's got a black turtleneck dressed very similar to the goon squad that you saw at the hospital.
Of
He
course.
steps out, you fire the gun, he pulls back just in time, and you do not hit him. But between the flashlight and everything, he gets a good understanding of where you are. He is now going to fire back. What is your hit threshold?
That is a good question. 5.
Very nice. All right.
Please don't hit me.
You've already been shot once.
Greg, please don't hit me. Please. Yes! That's a 1. Yes.
Okay, so a 4 plus 0. He does not hit your threshold. So he fires back. He drops down. He fires back. The
Yep.
gentleman behind him has not had a chance to come out. This gives you an opportunity to shoot before the next person comes out.
All right, let's do it again. Let's do another 2 points. Let's roll again. That's a much better. That's a 7.
Okay. Now, what is I think you get a +2 damage on the gun for the 9mm. So go ahead and roll a d6 and just to do a +2. So on the little dice tray at the bottom, hit the d6 and then just do a +2 doing the with a plus and minus next to the roll and just give it a roll.
Boop. Yes. That's an 8, baby. Bang.
You fire, you miss him. He drops to his knees, he fires back, and he misses you.
Mhm.
You return fire, and this kills
Boom.
him, and I need to know why.
Oh. Well, so she's aiming for chest, center mass, because that is the easiest to aim for. Also, he had his flashlight up near his head, so it was illuminating kind of his chest. Also, the people behind him, keeping them close to the chest, so his center mass is very illuminated. He drops down where the flashlight is from behind him, where the flashlight is kind of illuminating him. She comes back out from cover, sees him in pure clarity as though it were daylight, and shoots him directly in the heart.
And he falls back. Dead as a doornail. His buddy is going to go ahead and shoot. So that we've got the second guy that has now come out.
Yikes. Come on. Ugh. Ouch.
Okay, so he does hit you with your hit
Mhm.
threshold of the 5,
Yep.
but he only does 2 damage. So what is your health on the far left?
My health on the far left is 6.
Okay, so let's drop that down to 4. Where does he hit you to take a third of your hit points?
Probably in the meat of the shoulder here. Not her dominant hand, thank God.
It is your initiative, and then after your initiative, we're gonna have two actions by 2 different goons.
All right. Let's see. There are luckily this is a tunnel, so they're all funneling in one at a time, which is great, but there are way more of them than there are of me. I need a distraction. I don't have any actually. Hey, Craig. With my preparedness, can I say that I have flashbangs?
So let's talk real quick for the audience. So one of my favorite things in Gumshoe is the preparedness roll. And what this does is someone who has a lot of points in preparedness basically is a good planner, a better planner than the player. So we're in a situation where Layla knows how to prepare for the job she had tonight better than Zoe did. And that's really where preparedness comes in. So when when we had Layla finding her stash at Gigi's place in the barn, I specifically said to Zoe that Layla, has other things in the bag, but we didn't define them because I said I wanted these to be your preparedness. So yes, I think that is easily a target 3 on preparedness. So let's go ahead and give preparedness a roll. How many
Fantastic.
points do you have in preparedness out of
I
curiosity?
have 5 total, but 4 to use. I'm gonna throw 1 in there,
Okay.
and let's roll it. Fuck.
Gets good. Target 3, 2
We did
plus
it.
1.
We
It's
did
good that
it.
you spent the point.
We did it. We got
You
there.
you reach into your back pocket.
Mhm.
There's the flashbang. You knew to bring it. You pull it out and
This is gonna suck, because it's a very close quarters cavern, but she shouts back to them, "It's gonna get
you
loud.
okay?
I'm
Okay.
fine, don't worry, cover your ears, please. Pull your socks up," and she chucks the flashbang and just covers her ears as
And
best she
then
can.
we see the flashbang fall, and before it hits the ground, it goes off and it's and even with your eyes and ears covered, with your eyes closed, and you think
Mhm.
you can hear the sound press on your
Oh, yeah.
hands as it
Yep,
presses on your head. And through your eyelids, even though you're closing and squinting super tight, it's like daylight
yep.
for that moment. And you actually hear 2 bodies fall
Yes, got him.
as that happens. And you open your eyes, it is back dark again. You can hear them ahead of you, but you can't see them ahead of you.
Okay, okay. Mhm. I think it's time to bolt. Let's catch back up with them, make sure that they're okay, and keep cover, obviously. But I'm going to assume that the flashbang has dropped the 2 dudes for the time being, enough for me to get out of where I'm now. Even though I'm partially covered, they know where I am, so I'm gonna book it back further down the tunnel, check on them, make sure that they can get out, and keep checking backwards.
Yeah, and not a whole lot happens here because again, you're good at this. You are a like expert spy, right? So we see you working your way back, protecting them, making sure that our friends don't get up, don't catch up. And finally, this woman gets to a door. She knocks on this door. The door opens. This mountain of a human pulls the door open and he goes, "Get in the van."
Okay. Everybody in the van. I call shotgun.
We cut to the van leaving this alleyway, far behind the church. You've got this woman sitting. And to be clear, this is not like a passenger van. This is a repairman's van, right?
Yeah.
So essentially what you have is benches that line each of the walls.
Mhm.
So across from you, sitting facing you, in the one bench, you have this woman. Right next to you, you have Dr. Holier, and you've got yourself and 2 very large men in the driver and passenger side.
I am very sus about this woman. So I'm gonna run a little experiment. Um, as I'm kind of sitting there in the van and the van's going, and she keeps checking out the back window just to make sure they're not followed. There's no black vans or anything like that. So when she's satisfied that they're set, at least for the time being, she sits back down. Oh my goodness, that was a bit of an ordeal, wasn't it? And she takes out the crucifix, the photo, and kind of like purposely folds it out so that it's facing the woman,
So
and kind of
before
like
that happens, one
Mhm.
second for me.
Okay.
As you start to unfold it, she can only see the back of the photo.
Mhm.
Dr. Holier is right next to you. And as you open the photo before you lean down, Holier sees it. And faster than his age should allow, he takes it and presses it against your chest. And he says, "No."
Do I trust him enough? is the question. Oh boy. I think I think she does. She kinda just presses it to her chest and, um, makes the sign of the cross for her own sake to kinda keep the ruse,
Mm-hmm.
and then folds it back and puts it away and gives him a sidelong glance of like, "You if this comes back to bite me, literally, you're in trouble."
So you can see the relief in his face, the fear in his face when you pull that picture out, then the relief in his face when you push that picture back.
Mhm.
This woman is watching the two of you, but she's also super concentrated on the back window on the
Mhm,
and
mhm.
she's getting up at times and going up and looking
Right.
out the front window.
She's doing the same
And
thing I am.
she at one point makes a comment to Dr. Holier, "I'm gonna charge you extra for this. This was not supposed to be this complicated," right?
She she takes out a wad of cash and just chucks it at the woman and is like, "Don't worry about it, it's fine. I planned for this."
So,
I
Dr. Holier,
do
other
need
than that one moment, go
I am
ahead.
so sorry, I need to
Oh,
pause for 2
of
seconds.
course.
My kitten has grabbed something she shouldn't have, so
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right, I'll be here. Oh, this is I gotta say for those of you watching, I had heard about one-on-one role playing before, and it had never interested me. And as an experiment, I got the Chaosium puts out Call of Cthulhu one-on-one module called Mask of Desire. Good friend of the show, Nick Westbrook. I said, Nick, let's try this one-on-one. And I think Nick and I did 3 or 4 episodes of that. If you want to go back and check it out, I he and I had so much fun with this. And as soon as I finished, soon after that, I got to meet Zoe through a patron introduced us. Zoe runs an amazing 7C podcast. We're able to arrange a live play of uh 7C. Zoe was the GM and she was incredible. And we got John Wick, the creator of 7C, and I got to play with him, plus a couple of Zoe's patrons. And as soon as we wrapped that up, I think we did that over 2 episodes. I quickly reached out to Zoe and said, Zoe, I want to do another one-on-one, and I've been dying to play Night's Black Agents. And she luckily said, yes, I would love to do it. This is her first time doing a one-on-one game. I have to say, it is several things. One, it's very different, very, very different than as a GM running a table. In some ways, it's a lot easier. I only have one player to satisfy. Um, in ways that it's harder is that I have to be careful and mindful of I've only have one mind at work on here. Now, Zoe's played a lot of role-playing games. Zoe's is a seasoned role player, but sometimes you can have one person in the party get stuck because they're a party, somebody else will get them unstuck. It's my responsibility as the GM to make sure that Zoe never gets stuck. Um, but there's also this really neat connection that I found with Nick, and I'm now finding with Zoe in this one-on-one that I really like. So I'm not saying that I don't like running it for a table of 4 people, which is always my sweet spot. But I'm gonna do more of this. One of the there's a couple of these adventures in the solo book by Gareth Hanrahan put out the solo book for Nice Black Agents. It's a great book. It's got 3 adventures in the back of it. This is one of them. There's 2 others. I'd like to run another one of those. I also picked up Trail of Cthulhu has got, I think it's called Cthulhu Confidential, which has 3 almost solo campaigns where you can use the Trail of Cthulhu rules, which is a gumshoe Cthulhu system. And I think that I want to run that as well. But big fan of this one-on-one. I'm very interested to see what happens here. So with Night's Black Agents, you have, at the very obvious level, you have spies hunting and fighting vampires. But there is a very big conspiracy layer to this game. And there's a lot of peeling back the onion. And, compare we have revealed a lot for Zoe here in this session. I'm very anxious for the post credits to talk to her because the kind of the we changed modes a lot in this session. We started this session off, and really the first two sessions was a lot of that trope of amnesia character, right? She has gotten a lot of clarity on what's happening now, and now we're really playing a little bit more of the Jason Bourne spycraft aspect of this, the action piece of it. And there's several different modes in Night's Black Agents, and it's part of what attracts me to the system. I do enjoy the gumshoe system, but I love Night Black's Agents because it's got kind of three different aspects to it. You've got the action, which we're kind of in the middle of right now. You've got the spy investigative intrigue aspect of it, which we've played with a little bit. And then you have the horror aspect with the fact that we have the supernatural vampire element that's involved. But yeah, a lot going on here. Hopefully Zoe will be back here in just a moment. But I do appreciate everybody watching in the chat and having these discussions. Um, what I'd be interested in for those of you that are either in the chat now or maybe that you're watching on video on demand, in the comments, what I'm really interested in learning more about is, and what I'm focused on a lot is the pacing. Um, you know, I always concentrate on pacing as a GM, but I'm particularly sensitive to the pacing here in a one-on-one session because again, I've only got one other player to help me with that pacing because the pacing is not just a GM job; it's a table job. So I'd be curious for those of you that are watching live or mention it in the comments. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about the pacing. Do you feel like things are moving too fast? Do you feel like things are dragging a little bit? Or is it that Goldilocks just right where we are not beating up the player and pushing the player, but we're also not dragging and finding those, kind of those lagging moments? I've got us right at about 2 hours right now. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go to credits. We'll see if Zoe has a chance to come back, after the credits or not. But, for those of you that are watching, I appreciate it. We've got a lot going on. We flash banged. We are in the van. We are headed to what we believe to be the airport with this mystery woman, these two large men, Dr. Hillier, who she's putting a lot of trust in right out of the gate, despite the fact that he seemed to be wired up. Excuse me. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. We'll go to credits and I'll see you guys on the other side and we'll see if Zoe's with us. All right, we do have Zoe. I just got to bring her back in. Give me just 1 second and we should see her. You are back.
Hooray! Hi,
All right.
everybody.
And Zoe, it ended up being a great time to stop.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so I love to hang on a cliffhanger, and we definitely have that. So one of the things I was talking while you were away, is the pacing. So, as far as part of my check-in, how are you feeling about the pace and the drip drip of information?
I think the pacing was excellent. I think the dripping of information was just good enough. Um, at no point did I feel like I didn't have enough to go off of. Um, I think I only got stuck maybe once, and that was just trying to figure out what to do in the situation with what I had.
Yeah.
Which happens to me. Sometimes the character is a lot smarter than I am, clearly. Um, but the pacing was good and the leak of information was good.
Well, and it's tough when you're playing by yourself, right? Because you can't
Right.
lean on someone else to kind of go, "Look, I'm kind of stuck. What do you think?"
Yeah, it's why I made Layla talk to herself.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, the other thing that I want to check in with you on is agency. Um, sometimes sometimes, as a GM, you can unwittingly take away agency, right?
Mhm.
Without realizing it. Other times you can allow your players to flounder where they need a little bit of help, right? They
Mhm.
need a little bit of push. Where are you comfort wise on that? Do you want to see the world help a little bit more? Do you feel like you're getting just enough help in this? Where are you feeling as far as agency is concerned?
I feel like I have as much agency as is needed
Okay.
for this kind of mystery gumshoe detective role. Um, I at no point feel that I am agentless,
Good.
that the world is acting against me. Um, everything is kind of flowing like puzzle pieces are just like clicking into place, right? Every once in a while, I'll think a puzzle piece is there, and it's like, no, that's incorrect. That's the wrong one, but it's similar, and down that vein, I'll travel until I find the correct piece. So at no point do I feel like I don't have any agency, and
Good.
I kind of like where it is right now, where I have just enough.
Good. 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 And obviously, online and offline. Part of the reasons I wanted to play with you on this one-on-one is that I feel like I can trust you to say at some point, "Hey, Craig, you need to either step on the gas a little
Greg,
bit or you need
I'm
to hit the brake."
I'm stumped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, good. All right,
Mhm.
so let's do my standard thing I stole from the Gauntlet podcast group, when that is the stars and wishes. So we'll start off with stars, and stars is where I ask the player to identify some top moments during this session. What did Zoe experience as a player that Zoe really enjoyed over the last 2 hours?
I really enjoyed kind of like watching this play out like a typical burner agent movie where you've got this agent, she's clearly been run through the ringer. She's doing the best that she can with the information that she has. And it's like, oh, she's going out for a time in the market. Wouldn't it be terrible if someone recognized her? And then she goes to the place and it's like, oh, Layla. Meanwhile, I, as the audience, is like, told you. I saw that coming a mile away. But then the information that was dropped, I'm thinking it's like part of MI6. It's part of that whole thing, when in actuality, it's part of this whole vampire nonsense
Mhm.
going on. And I'm like, ooh, okay, all right. I wasn't expecting the monks to know about vampires. Ooh, this is very interesting. I love this. That's me, Zoe, watching this show. Um, as Layla, it's like, oh, I have to be really careful now.
Yeah, Layla's obviously very super cautious of everybody, which is understandable. So, Layla aside,
Mhm.
I wanna get your temperature, Zoe. I say scale of 1 to 5. 1 is, "Wouldn't trust you with a dollar bill." 5 is, "I would trust you with my cats." Where are we with Dr. Holyer?
Ooh. I'd say a solid like 4.
Mm,
Say a solid 4 because he's clearly a doctor. He's clearly been taking care of Layla. He clearly knows what's going on, specifically about what I theorize is that Layla is a vampire, or has been turned into one, but doesn't remember. And the way how he phrased the "it keeps you broken" is it's very cool, because the terminology here is that it's breaking me away from whatever is enslaving me, which as Zoe, I'm like, "Oh, it's that fucking Jovitsu guy. It's that fucking that master of mine." And so, like, it's very cool to sit there and watch that, but I think it's solid, like, 4 for trust on the doctor there.
and the other person that I want to know about is our escort, our
Our big
woman,
lady,
our woman in the van.
1.5, bro. You're a big lady, you can absolutely crush me, and also you might have vampire abilities. You might also be what I am, which is a broken vampire, and, uh, have you really been taking your water? I don't know.
Have you been taking your
Taking
water?
your water.
All right. The other piece that I like to do is wishes, and this is where I ask Zoe. Zoe, what are you hoping for in the next episode or two? So this is could be story beats, it could be style, it could be feelings, genres, w- w- information you're hoping to uncover more of. What are your wishes as a player for the next session or two?
Oh, I wanna see this Jovitsu guy. I want him to, like, be at the airport. I want that standard scene of, like, I just get away, but I've lost a bunch of stuff. Like, it's the first appearance of the villain, and you know that you're outmatched and outclassed, but you escape anyway to fight another day, and it's just, like, that image of him standing on the tarmac, like, "I'll get you."
You've watched a lot of movies.
I I have.
Oh, that's great. All right.
Mhm.
So, Zoe, I want to know there's at least maybe two people total that have not listened to your podcast yet. So, let's talk about what they're missing.
Oh man, you're missing swashbuckling adventure, you're missing drama, you're missing um just 16th century ship combat, you're missing krakens. If you like pirates and you like swashbuckling and you like drama, go listen to the writers room because the story that I'm putting on over there is, I don't like to toot my own horn, but it's pretty
It's
great.
really good.
It's
Yeah.
pretty great. I gotta say, I've got I believe it's 20,000 listens tell me that it's great. So
It's
there's
awesome.
that. We're endorsed by Chaosium, so they like it, which is great. And yeah, I mean, I get John Wick texting me about rules, so
It's phenomenal. We had so much fun with John on it, and anybody who has any side interest in 7C, I really what I enjoy the most about Zoe's podcast is that not only do am I entertained and I get to enjoy and go through the adventure with the table, but Zoe does a great job, as does the players as well, doing what I like to do on my channel, which is this is not just a play. This is not just improv. This is a game, right? And I love your ability to allow the system to be a part of that, to take advantage of that. And, 7C from the ground up was designed to tell the type of story that you guys are telling. It
heck
is my
yes.
favorite type of system that supports the narrative as well. Everybody that's watching, I do appreciate it. Loved everybody that was here live. I love you for not watching it live and watching it gone. We're going to be doing episode 4 soon enough. So keep track of everything on the socials, yada, yada. Peace.
Bye everybody.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.